like to pass you over to the first of our bodies here tonight, ACCA. ACCA Ireland is the largest global professional accountancy body with over 500,000 students and members around the world. Their first speaker will be Christine Mulcahy, who worked in catering industry for many years, but in 1999 she decided upon a career change and qualified as an accounting technician in 2001. Christine then decided to further her studies with ACCA and qualified in 2007. This year, Christine became one of our first fellows, and she is also the financial controller for Accounting Technicians Ireland. Christine will be followed by Beibhinn Coman, who is the Communications and Marketing Manager with ACCA Ireland. But first, if you would please welcome Christine Mulcahy.
Good evening, everybody. Well, I suppose I could say tonight that choosing ACCA was really great because in alphabetical order, ACCA comes first and I'm up here first tonight. I'll just give you a brief history of how I've got to where I am today. I don't think my story will be that much different than a lot of people. As Gaia said, I had a career in catering for nearly 19 years and eventually decided I wanted to change my career and I wanted to go into accounting. I worked for a multinational organisation for 23 years and 5 of those I worked in their accounts department. Having worked in the accounts department for the 5 years, I had no qualification and I kind of said, I need to get something under my belt. I went for the FIATI. It was a very good progression for me. It was a technician course. It was nice and short. It wasn't going to be a long stint and I hoped I'd get in and out for the 2 years. I have to say I did, got the exams all the first time out and I was delighted. I walked out of the exams in the ODS because where I sat them. That October I applied for membership and I was delighted I was accepted. Never ever to study again, and I think that's the story that a lot of people will have. However, the bug hit me and about 2 years later I decided again maybe I want to do another little bit of study. So I looked around. At that stage I was a little bit mature, shall we say. At 38 I kind of said, where do I want to go now at this stage? Don't really want to go back into a contract situation. What was best for me? I looked at a lot of the professional bodies and ACCA was the one that I selected. The reason I selected was that it was very much on I could keep doing what I was doing. I didn't have to change where I was going. It was my choice and I could go and study at my pace. I did my ACCA up in Griffith College in Dublin. I studied with a lot of different people. There were younger people than me, there were older people than me, but a great sense of, comradeship developed with us all. I did apply for exemptions and I was glad to say that I got my 2 exemptions. So for me, I didn't have to do all the exams. There were 9 in the first session and 7 in the final stage. I got the exemptions for 2 out of the 9, so that was only 7. And in the final 7, which were the core papers, there are 7 papers altogether. 3 you must do, and 2 you must take 2 out of the remaining 4. Got through it. Don't be fooled, it wasn't a cakewalk. Many a time through the middle of it I kind of said, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? In actual fact, my son was doing his junior cert and I don't know who was more nervous, him doing the junior cert or me doing my finals. However, I got there, got finished, and I have to say one of my colleagues who was studying with me, we've all kept up. A lot of us passed at different stages, and this year one of the last of us finally passed in February, so she's through now as well. For me, ACCA was the basis that I could study. The exams were based on a term. It was basically September to December. Get your exams done. You were done by Christmas. Christmas off, great. You got your results in February. You prayed to God they were the right ones. Back in again in the middle of February. Studied till June. Did your exams and you were free for the summer again. It suited my lifestyle. I did have 2 children at the time and for me it suited my lifestyle. I'd have to say within ACCA there was always tremendous support. We got the support both from our lecturers, we got support from a student magazine which was out to us roughly every two months I think we got it, and also there was great online support on their website. There was very much for the students and it was terrific. I always found it very helpful. Past papers, if you were struggling with something you could always put up a question and you'd get support back. I'd have to say even now, I still use ACCA, and there's a chap, Aidan Clifford, I'd say he hates to see my email address coming in. But I constantly ask Aidan for support for technical difficulties I may be having, and I always get the support back. ACCA have always been very supportive of any student or any member. I'm continuing my association with ACCA through CPD courses and through their Leinster Society. I actually do a little bit of support of distance learning for students myself now, because I found the support that I got from ACCA was very, very helpful to get me through. I'll be here later on if anybody wants to talk about where your choices are, what any questions you might have on it. I'm very proud of being an ACCA member. I'm also very proud of being an IATI member, and I'm also very proud of being an FIATI. It's something I've done and I've achieved, and it's very much for me to go forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. How do I follow on from that? My name is Beibhinn Coman. I work with ACCA, and really I'm just here to provide a little bit more information regarding exemptions and so on for you as IATI graduates. When I was told I had 5 minutes to speak this evening, I was trying to think of a few key points that I wanted to communicate to you. The key advantages that I identified of the ACCA qualification is, firstly, it's a global qualification, which means for you, if you start the exams and you decide for work or personal reasons you have to leave the country, you can continue the exams in over 170 countries around the world. That seems to be a core benefit for Irish students at the moment. And also, as a member, obviously, you can work internationally also. The second big advantage, and I don't know if each of you have received a copy of this at this stage, is the flexibility of the qualification. And as Christine alluded to, the main advantage really is that you can sit exams twice a year in June and December. And also, there's no requirement to sit your finals together. You can sit as many or few exams as you want to as you progress through the qualification. So it's really designed to work around your personal, social, and also your work commitments. Just regarding the work experience, to become a fully qualified accountant, no matter which of the bodies here this evening you go with, the accountancy bodies, you need to complete the professional exams, and you also need 3 years work experience. As IATI graduates, you have 2 of those 3 years under your belt, so you're already well ahead of the game regarding progressing through the qualification. And then regarding the exams, you are exempt from the first level, which is the first 3 of the IATI exams. I have details on the handout there, but if you have any individual queries as to your particular circumstances, please come up to me afterwards. The third point, outside of global and the flexibility of the qualification, was the reputation that ACCA holds. A big advantage for IATI graduates who may or may not hold a degree is that after the first 9 papers with ACCA, you can apply for an Oxford Brookes degree, which is a BSc, an honours BSc in applied accounting. So once you've completed those 9 exams, you submit a 6,000-word project, and if you're successful in that project, will be awarded a degree. And in addition to that, ACCA is also a level 9 HETAC recognised qualification, which is master's equivalency, which again is a nice feather to have in your bow when applying for jobs and wanting to progress your career. Christine stole a lot of my thunder in what she said, and really I'm just here that if you do have any individual queries, most of the information I've given you in that very short handout there, and both of us are available afterwards to answer any individual questions that you may have. And I'd like to thank you very much for your time.